A soft hum rises, like the quiet vibration of a violin string touched but not bowed. In the darkness, light gathers, thin, trembling, as if remembering its own beginning. What if free will is not an illusion, not a byproduct of neural noise, but an inherent attribute of every soul? What if every choice, tiny, monumental, unconscious, slices a seam into the fabric of time, sending reality spiraling into new directions, new worlds, new consequences? And what if beneath these branching universes lies a single, original timeline? The archetype, the primordial melody penned by the hidden constant. Science begins at observation. Neuroscience identifies decision-making in the prefrontal cortex, revealing networks of prediction, evaluation, and emotional weighting. Patterns emerge, neurons firing milliseconds before conscious awareness. Some interpret this as determinism. Others argue consciousness orchestrates the final selection, weaving intention into the neural cascade. Physics explores temporal symmetry, time that mathematically flows forward or backward, depending on the equation. Quantum mechanics whispers of superpositions, multiple possibilities existing simultaneously. The many worlds interpretation suggests every decision splits reality, spawning countless branches. Philosophy, from Aristotle to Kant, has wrestled with the paradox of agency. How does a finite mind make choices within infinite possibilities? Theology, in its contemplative depth, sees free will as the echo of divine freedom. The ability to choose love, light, good. Across all disciplines, a pattern emerges. Choice matters. Agency shapes outcome. Now let us bend reality. Imagine free will is not emergent, but essential, woven into the very identity of every soul. Each soul carries a unique frequency, like a cosmic signature. When a choice is made, that frequency interacts with the fabric of time, creating resonance, divergence, and distortion. The original timeline, pure, elegant, ordered, was intended as the master symphony, composed by the hidden constant. But souls, endowed with freedom, reshape the melody. At the moment of decision, time fractures like glass struck by light, sending shards racing outward. Each shard a new timeline, a new expression of possibility. Choice becomes creation. Free will becomes a generative force. Consequences ripple outward. Minor choices, turn left instead of right, speak instead of remain silent, create micro-branches, subtle variations, near identical worlds. Major choices, love, sacrifice, betrayal, invention, shatter timelines apart like tectonic plates breaking under cosmic pressure. Humanity begins to notice patterns. Déjà vu increases. Intuition grows sharper. Some people sense paths not taken. Innovators glimpse future technologies in dreams. Mystics feel echoes of parallel selves. Reality becomes a living tapestry, threads crossing, uncrossing, twisting into complex patterns. The deeper one looks, the more one sees not chaos but emergent order. The hidden constant, God, remains beneath all layers, not coercing outcomes, but sustaining the structure within which freedom unfolds. Humanity responds in waves. Science intensifies study of consciousness. Neuroscientists observe anomalies, neural signatures that correspond to decisions not yet made. Quantum researchers detect interference patterns hinting at timeline overlap. Culture splinters. Some celebrate limitless possibility. Others fear cosmic responsibility. Religion deepens. Not the wrathful god of primitive imagination, but the infinitely patient architect who designed a universe where love must be freely chosen. Politics fractures. Debates erupt over moral accountability. If timelines branch with each decision, are individuals responsible for the consequences of their actions in only one timeline or all? Society teeters between awe and fear. The world becomes aware that every soul carries tremendous creative power. Now the lens shifts inward. If every choice births new reality, then every soul is both participant and co-creator. Suddenly, meaning deepens. The smallest act echoes eternally. Compassion chosen once multiplies across universes. Forgiveness radiates healing through innumerable versions of self. Selfishness ripples into fragmentation. Cruelty distorts the original pattern. The human heart confronts its deepest truth. Freedom is weighty. It demands awareness. Psychology evolves. Therapists guide individuals to integrate the awareness of multiple possible selves. To live with intention, clarity, and humility. Existential dread transforms into spiritual maturity. Every soul becomes a steward of its own timeline. The scientific and the mystical converge. Quantum entanglement reveals instantaneous connection across distance. A metaphor for the unity beneath fractured timelines. Symbolism emerges. Each timeline is a note. Together they form chords. The hidden constant is the musician, not forcing the melody, but sustaining the rhythm. A soft reverence enters the narrative. God is understood as ground of being, the source from which all timelines flow and to which all eventually return. Freedom does not oppose divine will. It expresses it. A universe of branching timelines is not a mistake. It is a symphony of creative freedom. A contemplative voice from the Christian mystical tradition steps forward, one whose insight aligns perfectly with this theme of freedom and divine unity. Gregory of Nyssa wrote, "The soul becomes that which it chooses." In his contemplative language, he wasn't describing multiple universes. He was describing interior worlds. Timelines within consciousness. Translate his insight into modern science. Neural networks reshape according to repeated choices. Conscious intention changes brain structure. Synaptic pathways form parallel potentials. Reality becomes a multidimensional field of possibilities. The mystic and the scientist describe the same phenomenon. Choice shapes existence. Another contemplative insight from the cloud of unknowing whispers. Where love is, there God is. In scientific language, where coherence forms, systems stabilize. Love generates coherence. Neural synchrony, emotional regulation, sociological harmony. Mysticism becomes phenomenological data. Science becomes the instrument for translation. Both point to one truth. Free will is the soul participating in the creative order of God. We return to the central proposition with clarity. If free will is an inherent attribute of the soul, and if every choice fractures time into countless expressions, then humanity is both bound to and freed by the hidden constant. Science explains how choices unfold. Neural computation, quantum possibility, emergent complexity. Mysticism explains why choices matter. Love, meaning, transformation, divine likeness. And God, the supreme architect, holds the entire expanding cosmos of timelines. In unity, coherence, and infinite mercy. Light dims. Wind hums through unseen corridors. The world becomes soft, quiet, still. A final question lingers. If every decision births a universe, what universe are you creating right now? Silence settles. A final quote rises like a whisper from eternity. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Julian of Norwich.